On Friday, June 24th, the Supreme Court issued a ruling overturning Roe v. Wade, effectively ending the right to an abortion. While this ruling doesn't directly affect immigration law, it does affect immigrants and could significantly impact the potential for immigration reform in the future. So in this video, we are going to take a look at how this polarizing ruling could affect your immigration case and what it could mean for future elections as frustrated voters are driven to the polls. And if this is your first time on my channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications for regular immigration news updates. If you would like my help on your case, call our office to schedule a case evaluation at 212-248-7907. The question many immigrants are now wondering is if getting an abortion will hurt their immigration case now that it could potentially be illegal. If you live in a state where abortion is protected, it should have no impact on your case at all. Currently, 16 states and the District of Columbia have laws that protect the right to an abortion. And some states, such as New York, California, Oregon, and Connecticut, which are led by Democrats, are going one step further to pass laws strengthening protections for those who travel from out of state to access care. States such as New York and Washington even have laws that specifically protect access for undocumented immigrants, as well as out-of-state patients. But what if they lived in a state that has now banned abortion? Since Roe was overturned, nearly half of the states now have laws that can be used to ban or restrict abortion. Some of these are being challenged in the courts, and others have waiting periods until they go into effect, so the effectiveness of these laws right now is uncertain and rapidly changing. There are also Republican-led state lawmakers who are working to pass anti-abortion laws in some states, including Arizona, Nebraska, and Virginia. Overall, it is estimated that abortion could be banned in as many as 60% of states in the next year. If you live in one of these states, the likelihood of an abortion affecting your immigration case will also depend on how the laws are written for your state. Currently, most bans aim to restrict access by making it illegal for healthcare providers to deliver this type of reproductive care. However, with the rise of at-home medications for abortions and the ability to travel out of state, some states are writing laws that actually criminalize the mother for seeking to induce an abortion. While some states are doing this with civil penalties, others are enacting felony criminal charges, which would definitely hurt your immigration case, depending on how that law is written. Many also fear that these laws will disproportionately affect immigrants and women of color. Statistics show that women of color are more likely to seek abortion care because of financial status, lack of access to health care, and fear of poor outcomes, as they have higher maternal mortality rates. And women who have an uncertain immigration status could also seek abortion care due to fear of being separated from or deported with their child. What does this decision by the Supreme Court mean for upcoming elections? As we have discussed in my previous video, the midterms were not looking good for Democrats, but this decision could energize Democratic voters to turn out in record numbers. Support for abortion rights is at an all-time high. A Gallup poll in May found more Americans identified as pro-choice than at any other point since the mid-1990s. And when broken down by political party, support among Democrats has risen by nearly 20 points since then, with 80% now saying abortion should be legal in most cases. Since the Supreme Court's decision was announced, protests have broken out across the country, with people taking to the streets in New York, LA, Phoenix, and even Salt Lake City. But will this translate to votes in future elections? Biden has already come out saying Roe and personal freedoms are on the ballot, and many Democratic candidates are already positioning their campaigns as parts of a larger battle to restore abortion rights and prevent the rollback of other liberties. Senate Democrats saw a significant spike in grassroots fundraising immediately following the Supreme Court ruling, making for the best day of online fundraising to date this cycle. However, there has also been pushback by people who are frustrated that Democrats are using this as an opportunity to fundraise, pointing to the lack of action when in a position of power. A poll by NPR found that 78% of Democrats say the court's decision makes them more likely to vote this fall, 24 points higher than Republicans. But what people say and what they do can often be different things, which is why Republicans have said they will continue to focus their messaging on the economy, inflation, immigration, and rising crime. What do you think? Will this decision by the Supreme Court make it even more difficult for immigrants to come to the U.S.? And will this polarizing ruling help Democrats win votes in future elections? Remember, immigration and politics are very, very intertwined. Leave me a comment and let me know. And if you want to hear more about the upcoming midterm elections and how they will affect immigration reform, I'll include a link to that video here. I will also continue to bring you additional immigration news as it's available, so be sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications if you haven't done so yet. Click here to watch this video and I'll see you there.